Dr. Gordon Edomja. I'm an Associate Professor of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Ashesi University, and also the Program Director at the NEXTi2i program, which is the new Entrepreneurs Exchange for Transformation Idea to Impact, a collaboration between Ashesi University and MIT D Lab, sponsored by USAID. EVCA, Entrepreneurial Value Chain Approach. The genesis of this project stemmed from when the first cohort of our incubator program graduated. We did an evaluation and realized that typically you would expect incubatees to move on into acceleration. But when we looked around for the requirements that acceleration programs had, we realized that our fellows were not quite ready. So it's almost like they were stuck in the middle between the world of incubation and the world of acceleration. So we sat back down and asked ourselves, how can this problem be solved? How can we plug this hole in the ecosystem? To do that, we had the opportunity to bring together a number of players in the ecosystem, because another part of the NEXTi2i program was ecosystem design. So we took advantage of that and invited a number of key players who represented important blocks in the ecosystem. So investors, entrepreneurial startup or support organizations, other incubators and accelerators. We invited somebody from the gender diversity space, and other market builders. We had the first breakfast session and COVID hit, so we moved it online. It then became a 1-year monthly engagement with these ecosystem players, partly because when we started they were stuck at home and there was an interesting program to be a part of, but as we went along we realized that they really took an interest to it. They were really interested in the problem because they encountered it as well. So we started off by asking, what do they want to see in the ecosystem in 5 to 7 years? And through a series of deliberations, we started to narrow down a few areas. Some of the areas that they wanted to see growth in were agriculture, in medicine, in education, and I think there was an interest in fabrication as well. And so we started to ask the question, how should the ecosystem prepare to meet this vision or goal in the next 5 years? And so we went through a number of ecosystem mapping processes that the MIT Design Lab had explored and implemented in South America and in other parts of the world. And through that process, people started gravitating towards this idea that if only investors could know which entrepreneurs were entering the space or the market, they could be better prepared. And also, if only entrepreneurs could know which investors were available at which point of their journey, they could also be better prepared. This situation lies in the broader problem of entrepreneurs normally saying, we can't find investors to support our ideas, and investors saying, we can't find entrepreneurs to support. So it was very clear to us that there was a dichotomy there that we could explore a bit more. So we launched it at Accelerate 2030, which is a program under the office of the president that was celebrating, in 2020, was celebrating the achievements that made in the SDGs and also what the next 10 years held. We thought it was a good place to introduce this concept as something that if we paid attention to, we can support entrepreneurs to not only be successful economically, but also make an impact to the SDGs. We also had a panel at GDIW, which is the Ghana Digital Innovation Week, where we talked to people about this problem and try to engage a lot more potential participants, because we are going to a pilot where we will need entrepreneurs and resource providers in a system that will help us test the model and see how it works. And to that point, we also engaged a computer science faculty member from University of Massachusetts, Boston, who took an interest in the program to build a machine learning model on this resource orchestration scenario, this value chain where if the system could learn about the paths of entrepreneurs based on the sectors that they're in, and could also learn about the behavior of investors or responses of investors, reactions of investors to these entrepreneurs, then the system can make predictions for entrepreneurs and also for investors. It sounds futuristic, but we think it's very feasible. So our next phase is this pilot, and we're very excited because we think that it's a really good way of implementing and also testing the various aspects of the model. The whole team is still on board a year and a half later, and so we are very hopeful that something great will come out of it, and it will become an example of how to support an entrepreneurial ecosystem.